Coming up on this episode of 10-8, St. Lucie County Emergency Management Coordinator Tom Daly joins us in the studio to discuss the county's preparedness and response to disasters. And we'll ride shotgun with members of the Special Investigations Unit as they crack down on drug activity in the city of Fort Pierce. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Welcome to 10-8, your inside view into the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office. I'm your host, Sergeant Chris Ciccio. Today we're meeting with Tom Daly. He is the Emergency Management Coordinator for St. Lucie County. Tom, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sergeant. Appreciate you having us.
Now, Tom, you are the Emergency Management Coordinator. Tell us a little bit about your roles and responsibilities as such.
Well, we work on an all hazards approach, and to any emergency or disaster, my role would be to coordinate the response of the response to the event. Not necessarily lead it, absolutely not be the commander, but to coordinate the different agencies, glean information, provide information to the incident commanders, make resource requests to state or federal entities if it goes beyond our capability to handle here. That's in a response mode, but there's a lot more to it than that. We work on plans, we work on mitigation for all hazards. We know what to do to prepare for hurricanes. We know what to do to prepare for other disasters, both man-made and natural. So it's a full-time job. Obviously, it's not something that you just go to when something happens. So there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, a lot of preparation and planning.
Okay, now you say coordinating agencies. Are you talking about local government agencies, or are there private agencies involved in this coordination as well?
All of that, actually. We have non-government organizations that are part of a response to any type of disaster in the county. Obviously, we have the two municipalities and the county's governments. We coordinate with the state and with federal entities coming in to assist in the response role.
Okay, so I understand that we also have recently built, back in I believe 2009, a new emergency operations center. How did that project come about?
Well, in 2004, we had the two hurricanes back to back, of course, everybody remembers those. And our facilities, while not inadequate, were very cramped. And we didn't have room to expand. We didn't have room to expand our technology either. We were pretty limited in moving forward and staying modernized. And of course, we had the president and the governor were in, and they saw the conditions that we worked under. And they also saw conditions at other emergency operations centers throughout the state. Some failed completely. People were working in their EOC would fail, and they were working in break rooms and stuff like that. And the governor took that back to the legislature and made it a priority to create funding to put EOCs in places where they're needed. And we were chosen as one of those places.
Okay, now does every county in the state of Florida have an emergency operations center?
Yes.
And those emergency operations centers, say if the event, as you mentioned before, goes beyond the borders of St. Lucie County, is there a state entity that those emergency operations centers coordinate with?
Absolutely. That's the state EOC, Florida Division of Emergency Management. And if it goes beyond their scope of what they can handle, they would call in for mutual aid from surrounding agencies. It's all coordinated. The additional response outside would be coordinated from the state. We may, as a non-impacted county, may be asked to go and assist at that emergency operations center. Hurricane Irene in New York had, I think, 6 or 7 members from Palm Beach County's emergency management up there assisting them. So we do a lot of interagency coordination and assistance.
So in essence, it's almost like a puzzle where you put together within St. Lucie County. If it transcends the borders of the county, then it goes to possibly a state level.
Absolutely.
And if it goes outside of that, then that can also merge with the federal level for federal assistance.
Absolutely.
So it's kind of a complex program.
Very complex and difficult to orchestrate. Especially post-disaster. You're trying to get the best information you can in, and making priorities and recovery is difficult. And what you're asking for outside help is going to be based on your recovery priorities. So that's something that you anticipate. You work with your partners on to make sure that we all understand everybody's needs and do the right thing and have a measured, smart response to the incident.
Okay, and meaning smart response, is that, I believe in learning in my job, that specific and measurable, achievable, and all of those acronyms.
Realistic,
that we've learned
absolutely,
in training.
Yes. Yeah, that's federal nomenclature, but you really don't need to have a Katrina-type response to a Francis-type hurricane. Yes, we were hit hard, but it was nothing compared to Katrina. We didn't lose all of our infrastructure. Homes weren't just gone and nobody could find them, or like the Joplin tornadoes. So you have to measure your response, and you have to understand the levels, and it's something that you work on constantly, so you understand where you're at and what your needs are.
Good. Now let's talk specifically about the Emergency Operations Center. I think we mentioned before it was built in 2009. What was the cost that building came under?
We were just under $13 million, of which 82% came from non-St. Lucie County funding, meaning federal, state grants. We had corporate partnerships that donated money. Only about 18% actually came off of county budget.
Wow. And now, obviously, the facility has been built to your needs, capable of handling all the responsibilities that were held in the old EOC, now currently working through the new EOC. And from what I've seen of it, there seems to be a lot of room to expand if necessary.
Well, there's a lot of room to expand, but we also built it way beyond what we would need for a typical activation. And in that, we also are a continuity of operations site for different county governments, finance, administration. If they lost their ability to perform their duties at their current location, which is the admin building at 23rd and Virginia, they could move in with us at a moment's notice. We have it all set up for them to move in. Coast Guard District 7 out of Miami, if they were to take an impact, would move their operations to our facility, and we could house them while we're fully activated.
Wow. Plus
county entities coming in and other county divisions working there, as well as Florida Power and Light's recovery folks will pre-stage here if there's an event down south or their operations facility is damaged in any way. They'll come work out of ours. We've got that much room and capability.
So there's specific locations that each, say the government agencies in St. Lucie County, the Sheriff's Office, the police departments, the fire district, they have specific areas allotted to them within the building?
Correct, right. And the key is when you've had a disaster, three things you need to get up and running quickly to bring some sense of normalcy back and to jumpstart the recovery process. And that is, you have to open up government, because you can't get permits without government. Nothing flows without the officials working. You have to get the schools up and running as soon as possible. You get the kids back to school so the parents can go back to work. And the other is commerce. And not necessarily in that order, but those are three things you have to get up and running. With the new EOC, we can assure that the county's government stays up and running even in the middle of the event. Mm-hmm. Previously, the information technology systems that we all need were located at the ground floor of Virginia Avenue at the admin building. They've been moved out to our old EOC, so they never have to be brought down for a storm, pre-storm, or brought back up. Government can continue to maintain its function all the way through an event, a disaster, man-made or natural. So that's a huge capability for us.
Okay, so now let me talk about communication for just a minute. We'll get into it and then we'll go to a break. But communication obviously is important in coordinating the government entities, but what about communication to the public? Is there a place for the media to set up inside of the EOC to where the officials can communicate to the public?
Yes, absolutely. We've designed a media briefing room. And we also put in, I hate to call it a hitching post or a trailer park type situation, but that's what we've done. We've put in hitching posts in our parking lot for the media trucks to hook up to. We've invited the media pre-planning process to come in and talk to us and say, what is it that you need to effectively get our message out? And we partnered with them, and we've done just about everything that they've asked for. They come up and they test the equipment on a periodic basis to make sure everything's working. We've great capability. St. Lucie County TV can operate from the EOC if they can't operate here. We can even load up the press briefings up onto the internet, so if, say, CNN shows up and they don't have a cameraman, but they have a reporter, they can download it from the website with a delay, what happened on that press conference.
Oh, very good.
Very good. So we can communicate with the outside world, so if something happens, we need to get our message out.
Excellent. And when we come back after the next break, we're going to talk to Tom more about the new capabilities of the Emergency Operations Center. Don't go away.
We have a next generation 911 phone system, and what that is going to allow us to do when AT&T meets up with the technology is somebody that's in a situation where they can't talk but they need to send a message to 911. We'll be able to text message us from their phones.
Wow. Welcome back to 10-8. We've been speaking today with Tom Daly. He is the Emergency Management Coordinator for St. Lucie County. Now, Tom, before the break, we were talking about some of the new capabilities of the Emergency Operations Center versus the old capabilities. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you're capable of doing now versus what you were able to do, say, in the 2004 hurricanes?
Yeah, we all live on the internet. I mean, that's the key component to everybody's life. Well, if you're out dislocated from the county, we have a lot of people that don't live here in the summertime when we might be impacted by a storm. Being able to provide our press releases online and do the press conferences online through SLC TV on demand, we're able to get the message out to people that aren't here. And that's part of our message is contact our website. Look at our website. All of our stuff's going to be on there. Now, we know that impacted people locally may not have the ability to access the internet. We don't know if our smartphones are going to work post-disaster, depending on what type of disaster it might be. They found out the hard way in Joplin that certain smartphones weren't working up there, certain systems. You couldn't Twitter, you couldn't Facebook, but social media is a component. What we can do now is we have 4 sources of internet coming into the building. If one of them fails, we go to another system. We have redundancy on that. So we can almost 99.99% be assured that we can get a message out on the internet, and that's going to be big. The media is embedded with us. They will be there broadcasting, and they will stay with us throughout the event. WQCS, our local radio station that is our emergency alert system partner, will broadcast live from the EOC. So we will have 3 methods that should be up and running constantly to get the message out to the public. This is what's going on. This is where we're at in recovery. Florida Power and Light will work very hard with us to give us their daily recovery updates, what their plan is, what their goals are, what areas they're going to be working on, so we can get the word out to the public through FP&L where the electric's going to be restored, things like that. It was a lot more difficult for us to do that in the old facility. We didn't have a media briefing room. We didn't have anywhere for the media to sleep. We didn't have anywhere for anybody to sleep. We had 155 people in there sleeping on the floor. We didn't have any bunking facilities like we do now.
I actually remember that because during the 2004 hurricanes, I was assigned to the Emergency Operations Center for the midnight shift during the duration, I believe it was after Hurricane Francis. Yeah. And there was literally no place to sleep. We actually slept on the floor inside the workroom.
Yeah, during the event itself, when Francis was coming and not coming and then coming and not coming, we had about 135 to 155 people in the building, and we were 5 deep on the floor. Sleeping, and it's hard when you've asked that of an emergency worker, and you don't think of people sitting in office as an emergency worker, but when you're pulling in sheriff's deputies and law enforcement to liaison with the outside agencies, they need rest. To be effective, you have to get some sleep, and they had no place to do that before, and they might get 2 or 3 hours a day. We could seat 34 in our old EOC. We can seat 82 in this one. Sheriff's Department can send 4 people out now, so you got 2 people on each shift, each 12-hour shift. Before you could send 2 people out and one person have to find a place to sleep because you only had 1 seat in the EOC. Our communications expandability was at its max in the old building. We now have we had 34 phones in the ops room. Right now we've got 82, but they're 2-line phones. So if you're on a phone and somebody calls in, they'll never get a busy signal. Your partner with the Sheriff's Department sitting right next to you has a 2-line capability. More means of communication means more rapid sharing of that communication, making decisions based on the information coming in. If you've got a good solid information flow and it's going up incident command, it's easier to set the goals and objectives and advance the response. It's driven by technology. It helps. It helps us. It really does.
One of the unique qualities that we have in St. Lucie County, and it's another component within the Emergency Operations Center, is the communication to the law enforcement agencies and the fire district. They're all housed in the same area, whereas you go to other areas of the state or even the country, individual agencies have their own dispatch center, but that's not the case here in St. Lucie County. Tell us, how that works. You've got all these dispatchers all sitting in the same room and communications functioning that way.
Yeah, exactly. We were the second county online, and I want to say it was 1976, that went to a metro or entire county 911 system. So we've been doing this for a long time. The first county that did it beat us by like a week. We were kind of working at the same time of doing it. Not a lot of counties have their 911 operations right inside the EOC, and that is becoming a trend where it's happening more and more post September 11th. It's DHS is driving that, and it's a good idea. We've always had that. The sharing of the information directly from the deputy on the road to the operations room through dispatch on outside conditions or an update as to what's going on, whereas before they might have to call in, make phone calls to pass that information along instead of going right over the radio. It speeds up communications. The 911 center is a marvel. It really, truly is. We see 31 in there now. We've got 31 positions. We have a next generation 911 phone system. And what that is going to allow us to do when AT&T meets up with the technology is somebody that's in a situation where they can't talk, but they need to send a message to 911. We'll be able to text message us from their phones. Wow. It will come to the point where they can snap photographs from their phones or shoot live video and send it to the complaint taker while they're on the phone with them and get information. That video, those texts, and those pictures can be sent to the dispatcher and then transmitted out to the patrol car that's responding to the scene. Wow. So that's called next generation 911 technology. We've got the phone system for that. The computer-aided dispatch system is in the implementation phase. I don't know, that's a little out of my purview. I'm not sure what the time scale on that is. And then when AT&T can deliver that technology to us from the smartphones, it'll go live out to the cars. And as a law enforcement officer, I can't begin to imagine for you how exciting that is, yeah, to have live video coming at you when you're driving to a call.
Absolutely.
And you're getting a street's eye view of what's going on before you get there.
And all the law enforcement officers in St. Lucie County to have that ability to gather intelligence while they're en route to that call, sure, just tremendously enhances the safety of all the people involved. Now, another component, and as we get close to this interview, is the reverse 911, the first call system.
Yes.
That is also a county-wide system. I know many of our residents receive calls from a government entity, and that's also done through the Emergency Operations Center. Right. Tell us a little bit about that program and how that works.
Well, we entered into an agreement with the three, the Sheriff's Department, Port St. Lucie, and Fort Pierce Police Departments in the Fire District, as well as us. I think we're in the 4th year of this this system that we've been using, and we can make it rapid notifications, alert notification systems, and it's almost becoming a mandate from FEMA that everybody has it, but we've had it for a while. We can put out mass calls. There is a limitation to it. It gets all the registered phone numbers in the county, and it's updated monthly through the first call. They take care of that. The problem is we have less and less people in St. Lucie County that have home phones and are going with cell phones. They must register.
Right.
They must register, and it's up on our website, City of Port St. Lucie's website, but it's firstcall.net, I believe, and you must register your cell phone, but we know where you live based on that cell phone, and if we've got an emergency notification, we need to get to them. We've got a chlorine leak or something, and we need to reach those people right away. It's all done map-based. We can draw a circle on it, hit it, type up the message, and send it out to them, text message, voice message. It's a wonderful capability, and we're going to expand on that in the next year also.
I know that we at the Sheriff's Office just recently transitioned into the first call system, and we're pretty excited about the capabilities it gives us. Tom, thank you for coming today. Obviously, a lot of what you do is technology driven, a lot of coordination, a lot of planning. Thank you for the work that you put into that and all the people that work with you. For more information on the EOC, you can visit stluciecode.gov, and of course, you can always register for the first call system through stluciesheriff.com. When we return, we'll take to the streets with the Special Investigations Unit. Don't go away.
So that's the van right there. Well, I'm going to ask you one time. You have any dope in the car?
Yes, sir.
Open your mouth. Did you swallow it?
Yes, sir.
Keep your mouth open. Are you sure?
All suspects are considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Viewer discretion is advised.
I didn't say you had a gun. I said I want to make sure you didn't have a gun.
I ain't even run from the police already.
Honestly, out here, the people we're dealing with aren't reinventing the wheel. Me, I look for patterns. If I arrest somebody who had drugs, I look at the patterns that led me to that arrest. And that's when I'm on a patrol, I look for those same type of patterns. There's a white van I saw bending corners. Just left 700 block of North 20th Street. It's a big dope area. Archie's worked in undercover capacity selling narcotics from there. I've worked undercover and purchased narcotics from there. So that's the van right there. We're gonna see if we can find a reason to stop him. And as you can see, he stopped illegally. He's past the white stop block line. He did not signal. Traveling southbound on 25th Street.
Still 1050 on that vehicle at 25 orange, 25.
Let me see your hands. All right, he's got an open container right here. Step out of the vehicle. Put your hands right on this window right now.
Yes, sir.
Drop all that stuff. Just drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Put your hands right here. Okay. Politely, I'm going to say this. All right. I'm Detective Sosby, the Sheriff's Office.
Yes, sir.
The reason I'm stopping you is because I saw you leaving a very busy drug area. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which makes me think you probably bought dope. Now you saw us behind us, and you had plenty of time to get rid of it. So hold on a second. You also have an open container, which I'm going to guess is alcoholic. So you're drinking and driving, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're drinking and driving. And you're also leaving
Not
an open
drinking
area.
and driving, but go,
It's an
yes.
open container and you're
Yes, sir.
driving. That's
Yes,
drinking
sir.
and driving.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Also, when you turn from Avenue E, go ahead.
25th Street.
Yes, sir.
I know she's calling you.
Yes,
25th Avenue, you didn't use your signal. Okay.
Okay.
So right now, I'm not going to arrest you, but I'm going to detain you. Okay,
Yes,
because
sir.
I'm going to conduct an investigation.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
But I'm going to ask you one time. You have any dope in the car?
No, sir.
Open your
Okay.
mouth. Did you swallow it?
No, sir.
Keep your mouth open. Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
Did you attempt to sell dope, buy dope there?
No, there's
Open your mouth. Okay, what were you doing? Hold on, open your mouth. Go ahead. What were you doing over there?
I got candy in my. That's
Okay,
candy.
I don't care about candy.
There's a black dude in there that. Okay, never mind.
No, explain. I'm legal reason why you were there. That's
Yes,
fine.
sir. Well, I had a necklace that was stolen from me not too long ago, and supposedly it was pawned in that area or another spot over there. It's a gold. It's got
So
a
now-
swivel chain.
Okay. So
And
you're
it-
telling me that. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. The dude, the hell was his name?
I'm gonna need 436.
That wrong outside.
Oh yeah. Never mind.
Sir.
Okay, so now what you're telling me, just so I got this right,
Yes, sir.
an unknown subject stole your valuable necklace, and pawned that necklace at the 700 block of North 20th Street.
There, or there's one other
Okay,
place.
but possibly that place. So you wanted to take it upon yourself. Are you a guardian angel?
No, sir.
Okay, are you law enforcement certified?
No, sir.
Okay, you ex-Marine, ex-Army, anything like that?
My son is, no.
Okay, but you know Ranger training or nothing?
No, sir.
Okay, do you think it's intelligent for you to go into the area of Fort Pierce where you think a crime has occurred? You're going to confront the guy who stole your necklace?
Not
You think
gonna
that's
confront him.
intelligent?
I'm going to try and buy it back or offer a reward.
That's a confrontation. That doesn't
sir.
seem very safe, right? Coincidentally, since it's right now one of the hottest crack selling areas in the entire county.
That is?
Yeah, here's how busy it is. He sells dope there, undercover. I've bought dope there, undercover. I know it's a busy area
At that spot.
because they're smart, because they don't live there. They just know they stand in the field.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
I got
Whatever you got to do, put your feet down.
thank
That's
you.
fine.
I got a
Fake
brace
leg.
on my-
Brace
yes,
or
sir.
fake? Okay.
And-
All right. Is there any drugs in your car?
No, sir.
Any drugs on your person? Do
No, sir.
you mind if I search your person?
No, man. No, sir.
Okay.
I-
Anything to search in your car?
No, there's nothing.
Okay.
I don't have
Step
anything
right
on-
here. Put your hands right here so I'm not. Put your hands right here. Turn around. Nothing on you, right?
No, sir.
No needles,
No, sir.
knives.
No, sir.
Let me see your hands. What happened now? Industrial accident?
No, I had my thumb got cut off when I was a kid, and they took my index finger and moved it over and made a thumb out of it.
All right. That's where it makes it work, right?
Yes, sir.
The gentleman on the traffic stop gave us a consent to search his vehicle. We also found a alcoholic beverage. He just said he was drinking and driving. Absolute vodka and some type of cranberry mix. But inside this cup, there's a cellophane from a cigarette, and inside that cellophane, if you notice, you can see what's appears to me from my training to be a crack cocaine rock. There's a second one on the outside of the cellophane. Looks like 3 small pieces actually, so total about 4 crack cocaine rocks. We're gonna have to obviously test them.
But what'd you buy? 1 rock?
Yeah.
How much?
No, I didn't. Man, so they
3 rocks. How much?
it's 30. No.
30 bucks.
So
How often do you go over there?
I don't go there often. I honestly don't.
How often are you smoking?
I've been very depressed lately. I'm going through a divorce right now.
I hear that same. I'm not even gonna say excuse,
Yes,
because
sir.
it's not an excuse. It's a reason.
Yes, sir.
I hear that same reason all the time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, people got to deal with their pain in different ways, but that ain't. You got kids?
Yes, sir.
Not that live with you though.
No.
Okay, how are they grown?
21.
Okay. But that ain't, that ain't good for you. So what we had is a guy who we saw in a drug area, made the traffic stop, and found 3 crack rocks, 4 crack rocks. Post Miranda, he admitted he had crack cocaine. He said, like we've heard before, he's a guy who is dealing with personal problems, going through a divorce right now, and that's his way of coping. As I explained to him, it's not going to help him. So he'll go to jail. Hopefully he'll get some help, his family, New Horizons, and hopefully he won't be back up here doing the same thing.
On behalf of Sheriff Ken Mascara and the many dedicated men and women serving you through the St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office, we thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe.